When Amara Brooks found a suitcase containing $100,000 on a Seoul street, she had no idea that returning it would change everything. The money belonged to Kang Jae-min, one of Korea's most feared mafia bosses, a man haunted by the brutal murder of his pregnant wife, a man who had given up on love until a stranger's conscience knocked on his penthouse door. But what Amara didn't know was that by doing the right thing, she had just painted a target on her family's back, because Jae-min's enemies don't forgive, and they sure as hell don't forget. Now, with her elderly aunt's life hanging in the balance and bullets flying over the Han River, this delivery driver from the wrong side of town is about to discover that sometimes the most dangerous thing you can do is fall in love with a man who kills to protect what he loves. Subscribe and tell me in the comments, would you have returned that money or would you have run? Pre-dawn mist clings to the river. Amara Brooks adjusts her helmet and checks the delivery app. 14 packages before 7 a.m. Her scooter engine purrs through empty Seoul streets. The math runs through her head. 60,000 won today if she hits every stop. Aunt Regina's therapy session starts at 8:30. The bills stack higher each week. Amara felt nervous about the timing. A luxury sedan brakes hard ahead. Black metal gleams under streetlights. The driver steps out and yanks a duffel from the trunk. His phone buzzes. He curses in rapid Korean. Shit! His voice was sharp. He tosses the bag toward his car. It bounces and slides across wet asphalt. The sedan roars away, tires squealing. Amara watches red taillights disappear around a corner. The duffel sits in the street. Rain starts to fall. She pulls over and cuts her engine. The bag is heavy leather, expensive. A zipper gapes open from the impact. Green bills spill onto the pavement. Amara felt panic flood her chest. She crouches and scoops scattered money back inside. American hundreds, Korean 1. More cash than she's seen in her lifetime. Her breath caught. This is someone's life savings. The smart thing is calling police, but that means paperwork, questions, hours at the station while Aunt Regina waits at the clinic alone. Her delivery route abandoned. Amara's hands shake as she zips the bag closed. A leather tag dangles from the handle. Embossed initials, KJM. Below that, an address in Gangnam. She knows the building. Glass tower overlooking the river. She lifts the duffel and settles it in her cargo basket. The weight makes her scooter lean sideways. She'll return it after her route. Do the right thing without destroying her day. Amara felt determined now. The address burns in her memory as she starts her engine. 37 Riverside Drive, penthouse level. She accelerates into the fog, clock ticking toward her aunt's appointment. Glass doors reflect morning light. The building lobby gleams with marble floors and security cameras. Amara parks outside and removes her helmet. Her delivery uniform looks shabby here, cheap fabric against expensive stone, but the money sits heavy in her arms. Someone is missing this desperately. The doorman watches her approach. His suit costs more than her monthly rent. Suspicion narrows his eyes. "I need to return something," she said. "Building residents only." Amara shows him the leather tag. His expression shifts. Shock flickers across his face before professional calm returns. Penthouse elevator, 42nd floor. The ride up feels endless. Her stomach drops with each floor. Rich people don't lose $100,000 by accident. This money connects to something dangerous. Amara felt scared but pressed forward. The doors open to a private foyer. Cream walls, no decorations. A single black door waits ahead. She rings the bell and steps back. Footsteps approach. Locks click open. The door swings wide. He fills the doorway. Tall, broad shoulders in a pressed white shirt. Black hair swept back from sharp features. Dark eyes study her face without blinking. Amara felt her breath catch again. "You're not the usual courier," he said. His voice was smooth, controlled. Korean accent wraps around perfect English. She lifts the duffel between them. "This fell from a car near the river. The tag has your initials." He doesn't reach for it immediately. His gaze moves from her face to the bag to her delivery uniform, calculating, measuring. "Come inside." "I can't stay long. 5 minutes." She follows him through the door. The apartment spreads before them in clean lines and empty space. Floor-to-ceiling windows frame the river below. Everything is white or black or glass. He takes the duffel and unzips it. Money sits in neat stacks. His shoulders relax slightly. "How much did you take?" he asked. "Nothing." The accusation stings. His eyes found hers. Dark brown, unreadable. Most people would have kept something. "I'm not most people." Something shifted in his expression. Surprise, maybe. He sets the bag on a glass table and reaches for his wallet. No reward necessary, she said quickly. Everyone wants something. I want my aunt to make her therapy session. That's it. He studies her again, longer this time. Her words seem to interest him more than her appearance. Your aunt has medical needs? Stroke recovery. Today's her first session. Where? Amara hesitates. Personal information feels dangerous here, but his voice was gentle when he asked. Seoul National Rehabilitation Center. He nods and pulls out his phone, types quickly. A car will take you. Faster than your scooter. I don't need charity. It's not charity, it's gratitude. His certainty makes arguing pointless, and Aunt Regina will worry less if Amara arrives on time. Thank you, she said finally. No, thank you. He walks her to the elevator, presses the call button and steps back. Professional distance returns between them. The doors open. Two men wait inside. Dark suits, hard eyes. Neither smiles. Have a good day, Miss Brooks, he said behind her. She freezes. He never asked her name. The elevator descends in silence. Both men watch her in the polished walls. Reflections multiply until she feels surrounded. Nice bag he lost, the first man said. His voice was casual, conversational, but his eyes stay fixed on her face. Lucky you found it. Lucky, the second agrees. The elevator passes the 20th floor, still falling. Amara's chest tightens with each breath. Where did you find it exactly? The first asks. The street. Which street? Near the river. That's a big area. The doors should have opened by now. They're past the lobby level, going down to the parking garage. Amara felt panic rise in her throat. I need to get to the hospital, she said. After you answer some questions. The second man reaches toward the elevator panel. His jacket falls open. Gunmetal gleams against black leather. The elevator stops. Sub-basement. The doors start to open. A hand slams against the door frame. The man from upstairs steps inside. His presence changes everything. The air grows thinner. Dangerous. His voice was low, deadly. Problem here? Just talking, the first man said. Talking is finished. 8 seconds of silence. The two men shrink against the back wall. Something passes between them. Fear. Understanding. Go upstairs, he tells them. They leave without argument. The elevator closes again. Just the two of them now. Are you hurt? He asked. No. His eyes scan her face anyway, looking for lies or shock. She realizes he's protecting her. From his own people. Why? She asked. You returned what wasn't yours. That matters. The elevator rises to the lobby. He walks her outside to where a black car waits. The driver nods respectfully. He'll take you to the clinic and back home afterward. Amara stops at the car door. Rain has started again. Drops bead on his expensive suit. Who are you? Someone who pays his debts. She gets in the car. Through the rear window, she watches him stand alone on the sidewalk. Rain falls harder. He doesn't move to shelter. Something about his stillness frightens her more than his men had. The rehabilitation center smells of disinfectant. Amara helps Aunt Regina with speech exercises. Repetition of simple words. Progress measured in syllables. Her phone buzzes. Work supervisor. Brooks, where are you? Medical appointment. I cleared this yesterday. Yeah, well, plans change. You missed 3 deliveries. Amara felt anger flare. I'll make them up this afternoon. No, you won't. Word is you brought trouble to a client building. Security complaints. Her stomach drops. What kind of trouble? The kind that gets people fired. Consider this your warning. The line goes dead. Aunt Regina looks up from her word cards. Concern fills her eyes, despite the speech difficulty. Problems? She manages. Nothing I can't handle. But shame burns in her chest. One good deed and her job hangs in the balance. Rich people's problems always roll downhill. They finish the session in silence. Aunt Regina's improvement is small, but real. 3 new words, pronounced clearly. Hope measured in tiny victories. The black car waits outside. Same driver, same respectful distance. Amara helps her aunt into the back seat and gives their address. No charge, the driver said. Amara wants to argue. Pride wars with practicality. The ride home saves 20,000 won in taxi fare. Money they need for next week's groceries. Thank you, she said quietly. Her apartment building looks shabbier after the glass tower. Cracked concrete and peeling paint. But it's home. Safe. Ordinary. She helps Aunt Regina up 2 flights of stairs. Settles her with afternoon medicine and a warm blanket. Her aunt naps, while Amara makes rice and vegetables. Evening comes early in autumn. Streetlights flicker on outside her window. The same lights that have watched this street for 5 years, except one is different now. Amara steps closer to the glass. A new camera bubble sits mounted on the light pole, black lens pointed directly at their building, at their apartment windows. Her breath caught. Someone is watching. The businessman's face flashes in her memory, dark eyes that missed nothing, men with guns who followed orders without question. She returned his money, did the right thing. But somehow the right thing has brought danger to their door. Amara felt fear settle in her bones. Outside, the camera lens gleams like a dark eye, recording everything, waiting. A bottle shatters on the pavement below. Glass spray catches streetlight. Amara jerks awake from the couch where she'd been dozing. The sound came from directly outside their building, too precise to be accident, too loud to ignore. She checks the locks on their apartment door. Chain, deadbolt, door handle, all secure. But thin wood and cheap metal feel inadequate now. Her phone shows 2 a.m. Aunt Regina sleeps soundly in the next room. Medication makes her rest deep and undisturbed. Amara calls their building manager. 5 rings before his groggy voice answers. "Do you know what time it is? Someone's throwing bottles at our building. Kids, probably. Go back to sleep. This isn't kids. I need better security. Lady, you pay $800 a month. You get what you pay for." His voice was dismissive, already tired. "Keep to yourself. Problems go away." The line goes dead. No help coming from official channels. She's alone with this. Amara drags a chair against the door. The legs scrape against linoleum. If someone tries to break in, she'll hear them coming. She returns to the kitchen and tries to focus on normal tasks. Rice in the cooker, vegetables for tomorrow's meals. Routine to calm her nerves. Another sound from the hallway. Not glass this time. Footsteps. Measured, careful. Someone climbing the stairs. The footsteps stop outside their door. 3 measured knocks. Not aggressive, not timid. Professional. Amara's hands shake as she approaches the door. Who is it? Kang Jae-min, the businessman from the penthouse. Her mind races through possibilities. None of them good. What do you want? To explain why they followed you. His voice was calm through the thin door. No threat in his tone. But his presence here means he knows where she lives. How long he's known. She slides the chain and opens the door 3 inches. His face appears in the gap. Same sharp features. Same measuring eyes. But something softer in his expression now. "May I come in?" "No. Then I'll explain from here." He steps back from the threshold, giving her space, showing he's not forcing entry. "You returned money that belongs to dangerous people. They think you know more than you do." "What kind of dangerous?" "The kind that hurt families to make points." Amara felt cold fear spread through her chest. Aunt Regina's breathing sounds from the next room, vulnerable, innocent. "What do you want from me?" "Nothing. But I can offer something to you." "Which is?" "Protection." The word hangs between them, heavy with implication. Protection from who? At what cost? "A car will watch this street for 48 hours. No one will approach your building. And after 48 hours, we'll see." His certainty disturbs her more than his presence. This man makes decisions about her life without asking permission. "I didn't ask for protection. You asked for nothing. That's why you're getting it." Something shifted in his expression again, almost like respect. "I can't accept help from strangers." We're not strangers anymore. He's right, and she hates it. The moment she touched his money, their lives connected. One good deed creating obligation and debt. "I don't owe you anything," she said. "No, I owe you." The distinction matters to him. She can hear it in his voice. This isn't charity, it's payment of a debt she never meant to create. 48 hours. Then we're even. 48 hours. She closes the door and slides the chain back into place. Through the peephole, she watches him walk down the hall, disappears around the corner toward the stairs. 5 minutes later, a black sedan pulls up under the streetlight. Engine idles quietly. Dark windows reflect nothing. Amara felt safety and hatred in equal measure. She hates needing protection, hates that her good deed created this situation. But Aunt Regina sleeps peacefully in the next room, and that matters more than pride. The car sits motionless under the light, watching, waiting. For the first time in hours, Amara's chest loosens. She can breathe normally again. Morning brings normal routines. Aunt Regina's pills sorted by time and type. Soft breakfast foods that won't strain her recovering throat. Physical therapy exercises in the living room. Amara leaves for her delivery route at 7 a.m. Half her usual packages thanks to yesterday's missed appointments. The supervisor's warning echoes in her memory. The black car follows at a distance, never close enough to crowd her, never far enough to lose sight. Professional surveillance. She finishes her reduced route by noon, 12 packages instead of 20. The difference shows in her pay app. 60,000 one short of her weekly target. When she returns to her building, grocery bags sit outside her apartment door. Fresh fruit, vegetables, and medical-grade broth. A pharmacy bag contains Aunt Regina's expensive supplements. A note in neat handwriting for the 48 hours. HS. Amara felt fury burn through her chest. She storms downstairs to the street. The sedan's engine cuts off. A man steps out. Not the businessman. Someone new, shorter, stockier, with glasses and a patient expression. "Take this back," she said, holding up the note. "Can't do that. I don't want charity." "It's not charity, it's logistics." His voice was matter-of-fact, unbothered. "You have medical needs. We have resources. Efficiency benefits everyone. I can provide for my family. No doubt, but why should you struggle when struggle isn't necessary?" The question stops her. Logic wars with pride. Aunt Regina needs the supplements. The broth will help her swallow medications more easily. "I didn't ask for this." Noted. He gets back in the car without argument. But he doesn't take the groceries. The message is clear. Accept them or throw them away. Either choice is hers. Amara carries the bags upstairs. Aunt Regina waits in her chair, looking at the fresh fruit with undisguised longing. She hasn't smiled in weeks. "Where did this come from?" Aunt Regina asks. "Temporary arrangement." Her aunt bites into a perfect apple. Juice runs down her chin. She laughs, and the sound fills their small apartment with light. Amara felt her resistance crumble. She unpacks vegetables and stores them properly. Types a text to the unknown number that called yesterday. "No more charity." 3 dots appear immediately, then disappear. No response comes. But the car remains outside their building, watching, protecting. For 48 hours, she reminds herself. Then this strange interlude ends, and normal life returns. If normal life still exists after this. Evening light fades behind their building. Amara washes dishes while Aunt Regina practices word cards at the kitchen table. Progress continues in small steps. A sharp crack from the window stops them both. A small stone bounces off the glass. Deliberate impact, precisely aimed. A spiderweb of cracks spreads across the bottom corner. "What was that?" Aunt Regina asks. "Stay here." Amara approaches the window carefully. Glass crunches under her feet. A tiny chip falls into her palm. The spiderweb spreads wider with each breath of wind. Footsteps echo in the stairwell outside. Heavy boots on concrete steps, moving upward toward their floor. Her breath caught. The protection isn't working. The footsteps stop outside their door. 3 soft knocks. The same measured pattern as last night. It's Kang Jae-min. Relief floods through her chest. But why is he here? The car outside should have stopped any threats. She opens the door with the chain still attached. His face appears in the gap, but his attention focuses on the cracked window behind her. "May I come in?" The request carries new weight tonight. Not just politeness. Necessity. Amara looks back at Aunt Regina, who watches from the kitchen table. Fear shadows her aunt's eyes despite the medication's calm. "Please." She releases the chain. He enters and scans the apartment like a security sweep. Living room, kitchen, bedrooms. His gaze catalogues everything. Window damage, escape routes, potential hiding places. He stops at the kitchen table where Aunt Regina sits with her word cards. His expression softens slightly. "Mrs. Brooks." He bows respectfully. "I'm sorry for the intrusion." Aunt Regina nods. Her voice was clearer than usual. "Thank you for helping Amara." Something shifts in his expression. Surprise at her directness. Appreciation for her strength. He returns to the living room and examines the cracked window more closely. Runs his finger along the spider web pattern. "Professional work," he said quietly. "What does that mean?" "It means they're escalating." Amara felt fear crawl up her spine. "Who are they?" "People who think you know more than you do." "About what?" "About me." The admission lands heavy in the small room. His presence has brought danger to her door, but admitting it changes something between them. The car outside can't watch every angle. They threw from the alley. He photographs the window damage and sends the images to someone. Response comes immediately. His jaw tightens. "You'll stay at my place tonight, both of you, 48 hours. "No." It's not a request anymore. His voice was harder now, command replacing politeness, but his eyes hold something else. Worry. genuine concern for their safety. I won't be driven from my home. Your home has become a target. Aunt Regina speaks from the kitchen. Amara listened to him. Her aunt's voice was steady despite everything, clear thinking despite the fear. Regina, I've lived through worse than this, but you're young. You have choices I never had. The truth settles between them. Aunt Regina survived poverty, discrimination, and now stroke recovery. Her perspective carries weight, earned through suffering. You choose the room, he said to Amara. You set the rules. 48 hours only. And then? Then we'll know if they're serious. Something shifted in his expression one more time. Grim certainty replacing diplomatic caution. Amara looks at the cracked window, at her aunt's concerned face, at this dangerous stranger who offers shelter from other dangerous strangers. Pride wars with practicality, but Aunt Regina's safety decides the battle. Give me 10 minutes to pack. She moves through their apartment gathering essentials. Medications, comfortable clothes, Aunt Regina's speech therapy materials. Normal items for an abnormal situation. Her breath caught as reality sinks in. She's leaving home with a man she barely knows, trusting her aunt's life to someone who admits bringing danger to their door. But the alternative is waiting here while shadows throw stones and worse. Amara zips their bag closed and helps Aunt Regina to her feet. They follow him toward the door, and whatever safety waits beyond it. The cracked window reflects their movement, broken glass catching hallway light. Behind them, their small apartment feels suddenly fragile, a place that could be shattered as easily as window glass. They step into the hall and lock the door. Normal life disappears behind thin wood and cheap metal. Ahead waits a black sedan, and 48 hours that will change everything. The penthouse elevator rises in silence. Aunt Regina sits in the wheelchair they provided downstairs. Her eyes are wide but calm, processing this new world with the same steadiness she brings to recovery. Jamin stands by the control panel. His presence fills the small space without crowding them, professional distance maintained even here. The guest suite has medical equipment, he said. What kind? Hospital bed, call button, accessible bathroom. Amara felt suspicion flare. You knew we were coming. I hoped you would accept help eventually. The doors open to reveal a woman waiting in the foyer. Asian, late 20s, wearing a crisp black dress. Her posture screams efficiency. This is Hana Seo. She manages the house. Hana bows slightly. Her voice was professional, cool. Miss Brooks, Mrs. Brooks. Welcome. She leads them through the apartment. Everything gleams under soft lighting. White marble, black leather, glass that reflects their small group moving through vast spaces. The guest suite sits at the far end of the main hall. Separate entrance, private bathroom, medical equipment exactly as promised. A hospital bed with electronic controls. Emergency call buttons within reach. 48 hours only, Amara said firmly. Understood. Hana provides elevator keycards and explains building security. Code access to certain floors. Restricted areas marked clearly. Emergency procedures posted by every exit. House rules? Amara asked. No rules. This is your space now. Jamin appears in the doorway. His jacket is gone, sleeves rolled up. The casual look makes him seem younger, less dangerous. Dinner is available whenever you're ready. We eat simple food. Hana cooks simple food. Something shifted in his expression, almost like amusement, but it disappears before she can be sure. Thank you, Aunt Regina said from the hospital bed. He focuses on her with complete attention. Mrs. Brooks, do you need anything for comfort tonight? My niece needs to stop worrying about accepting help. His eyes found Amara's, dark brown, unreadable as always, but warmer than before. Worry is natural, trust takes time. He leaves them alone to settle in. Amara unpacks their few belongings, while Aunt Regina explores the call buttons and bed controls. This is nicer than the rehabilitation center, her aunt said. It's temporary. Good things usually are. Amara felt frustration build in her chest. Everyone accepts this situation except her. Everyone trusts this stranger except her. But the room is beautiful, clean, safe, and Aunt Regina smiles as she adjusts the bed height with electronic controls. For 48 hours, she reminds herself. Then normal life returns. The building hums around them. Security vents, climate control, elevator motors, the sound of money buying safety and comfort. Amara locks their door and tries to sleep, but her mind races through possibilities. None of them end well. Morning light streams through floor-to-ceiling windows. The river spreads below like silver silk. Seoul stretches to the horizon in concrete and glass. Amara wakes to find Aunt Regina already up, dressed and sitting by the window with her word cards. Speech practice continues regardless of location. "Good morning," her aunt said clearly. "Morning. How do you feel?" "Safe." The simple word carries weight. Aunt Regina hasn't felt safe since the stroke, hasn't felt secure since the medical bills started growing. Amara helps her aunt with morning medications. The routine stays the same even in luxury surroundings. Pills sorted by time and dosage, progress measured in small improvements. The kitchen sits empty when they explore. Modern appliances, marble counters, no personal touches. Like a hotel suite designed for efficiency rather than living. Amara starts making porridge, simple breakfast that Aunt Regina can swallow easily. Rice, water, a touch of salt. Nothing fancy or complicated. Hannah appears in the doorway, watching like an inspector reviewing work. Her expression reveals nothing. "The ingredients are acceptable?" Hannah asked. "Perfect. Jamin prefers complex flavors." "This isn't for him." "No, but he will eat it anyway." Something in Hannah's tone suggests approval, or warning, hard to tell which. Footsteps approach from the main hallway. Jamin enters wearing dark slacks and a white shirt. Professional but not formal. Ready for business but not leaving immediately. He stops at the sight of porridge cooking on his stove. His expression shifts through surprise, consideration, acceptance. "Good morning," he said. "Morning." He serves himself a bowl and eats, standing at the counter. 3 bites, then a nod of satisfaction. "Thank you for cooking. I cook for my aunt, and I'm grateful to share it." The distinction matters to him. Gratitude instead of assumption. Sharing instead of taking. Amara felt something loosen in her chest. Her phone buzzes. Work supervisor again. She steps into the hallway to answer. "Brooks, bad news. Your weekend routes are cancelled." "Why?" "Client complaints. Something about security concerns." Amara's stomach drops. Weekend routes pay double rate. Money she needs for Aunt Regina's ongoing therapy. Which clients? Does it matter? Find another job. The line goes dead. 2 days of helping a stranger, and her career crumbles. Good deeds punished with poverty. She returns to the kitchen where Jamin reads something on his phone. His expression is carefully neutral. "Problems?" he asked. "Lost my weekend routes. Someone complained about security issues. I didn't contact your employer, but your people might have." His jaw tightened. "No orders were given about your work." She believes him, but belief doesn't change reality. His world has contaminated hers. Protection comes with hidden costs. 46 hours left, she said. 46 hours. He finishes his porridge and places the bowl in the sink. Rinses it clean himself, rather than leaving it for Hannah. "I have meetings today. Minho will handle security." "The man from yesterday?" "My right hand. He'll stay invisible unless you need something." Jamin pauses at the kitchen doorway, looks back at her aunt who continues speech practice at the table. Mrs. Brooks seems comfortable here. She adapts quickly. A useful skill. His voice was thoughtful, almost envious. Like adaptation is something he's forgotten how to do. Then he's gone, leaving only the scent of expensive soap and the echo of polite distance. Afternoon brings confrontation. Amara finds Jamin in his office alcove, typing on a laptop. The space is austere. No decorations, no personal items, just technology and empty walls. "We need to talk," she said. He closes the laptop and gives her complete attention. "About what?" "About your people interfering with my life." "Specific complaints." "My job, my building manager. The camera outside our apartment." His expression doesn't change, but something hardens around his eyes. "I told you. You told me you didn't contact my employer directly, but your presence created problems." "Yes." The admission surprises her. No deflection, no justification. Simple acknowledgement of cause and effect. "So fix it." "I can't. The damage is already done." Amara felt anger rise in her throat. "Then why offer protection if it destroys everything else?" "Because alive with problems is better than dead with solutions." The blunt words land heavy between them. He stands and moves to the window overlooking the river. Distance creating space for difficult truths. "They were already watching you," he said quietly. "What?" "Before you found the money. Before you knocked on my door." Her breath caught. "How do you know?" "Because I had you investigated after you left." Fury floods through her chest. Personal violation disguised as security. Her privacy shredded by strangers with resources. "You had no right. I had every right to protect my interests." "I'm not your interest." "No. You became something more complicated." He turns from the window. His eyes found hers across the small office, dark brown, holding secrets she doesn't want to understand. What kind of complicated? The kind that makes me responsible for your safety. I didn't ask for responsibility. Neither did I. The truth settles between them. Two people caught in circumstances neither chose, protection and obligation binding them together despite personal preferences. 45 hours, she said. 45 hours. But the number feels less certain now, less like a countdown to freedom and more like borrowed time. Minho appears in the doorway. His voice was urgent but controlled. We have movement near the Brooks apartment. Jamin's expression goes deadly calm. How many? 2 cars, different from yesterday's surveillance. Ryu's people? Unknown, but they're not backing down. Amara felt fear crawl up her spine. The danger is real, escalating. Her apartment is no longer safe, even empty. What do they want? She asked. To send a message, Jamin said. Which is? That I can't protect everyone. His voice was grim with understanding. This isn't about money anymore. It's about power, territory, proving weakness through attacking what someone values. I'm not valuable to you. No, but you matter to me. The distinction stops her cold. Value versus mattering. Economics versus something deeper and more personal. Why? Because you chose conscience over profit. Because you returned what wasn't yours. Something shifted in his expression again, almost like vulnerability, but it disappears behind professional control. Because most people would have kept the money and run. I'm not most people. No, you're not. The words carry weight beyond their simple meaning. Recognition, respect, something that might become more given time and safety. But time is running out, and safety feels increasingly impossible. Evening brings domestic apprenticeship. Hana teaches Amara the household rhythm while Aunt Regina naps, where supplies are kept, how security systems work, which areas require permission to access. He lives alone usually, Amara asked. Always alone. Family? Hana's expression closes. Not anymore. The careful wording suggests tragedy, loss too painful for casual conversation. Amara doesn't push for details. They prepare dinner together. Simple flavors that won't overwhelm Aunt Regina's recovering palate. Hana moves through the kitchen with practiced efficiency. You've worked for him long? 3 years. He's a good employer. He's a careful man who pays well for loyalty. Another careful answer. Praise wrapped in caution. Hana reveals nothing personal about her boss. Jamin returns as they finish cooking. He removes his jacket and rolls up his sleeves. The gesture is becoming familiar. Armor shed for domestic moments. Emergency routes, he said to Amara. Excuse me? If something happens, you need to know how to leave safely. The conversation turns practical. Exit strategies, safe rooms, communication protocols, information delivered with crisp efficiency. But Amara notices other things. How Hana anticipates his needs without being asked. How Minho appears at precise moments to provide updates. How everyone works together with quiet competence. It feels like family assembled from necessity rather than blood. Loyalty built through shared purpose and mutual respect. Questions? Jamin asked. Why do you trust them? Because they've earned it. How? By staying when leaving would have been safer. His voice was matter-of-fact, but something deeper moves beneath the surface. Gratitude. Understanding of sacrifice made on his behalf. Amara felt curiosity replace some of her fear. And they trust you? They trust me to keep my word. Which is? To protect what matters to them. She realizes he's talking about more than employment. These people have families, dreams, obligations beyond this building, and he's responsible for their safety too. Heavy responsibility, she said, the only kind worth carrying. Something shifted in his expression one more time, almost like relief at being understood, at having someone recognize the weight he carries. 44 hours, Amara said quietly. 44 hours. But the countdown feels different now, less like escape and more like borrowed intimacy. Time to understand someone before returning to separate worlds. She wonders what she'll miss when normal life resumes, and hates herself for wondering. Morning brings medical appointments, the rehabilitation center visit that started this strange journey, Aunt Regina's second therapy session since leaving the hospital. Jamin waits in the car while Amara assists her aunt inside. Professional distance maintained in public. No visible connection to explain or justify. The billing office creates complications. Mrs. Brooks' account shows payment through next month, the clerk said. Amara felt her spine stiffen. By whom? Anonymous donation, very generous. Fury builds in her chest. Another manipulation disguised as kindness. Another way this man controls situations without permission. She returns to the car and confronts him immediately. You paid for my aunt's therapy. No. The flat denial stops her, but she doesn't believe him. Then who? Ask Minho. His right-hand man sits in the driver's seat, meets her eyes in the rearview mirror without shame or apology. I arranged it, Minho said, without permission, without your knowledge. Permission wasn't requested. The distinction infuriates her more than the deception. These people make decisions about her life like she's a child, incapable of managing her own affairs. Stop the car. We're not... Stop the car now. Minho pulls over. Amara turns in her seat to face Jaemin directly. Her voice was shaking with controlled anger. Don't make me small to feel useful. The words hit him like physical impact. His carefully controlled expression cracks. Something raw and wounded flickers across his features. That wasn't the intention, but it was the result. Silence stretches between them, heavy with unspoken truths and wounded pride. I can pay for my aunt's care myself. I know. Then why? Because I wanted to help and didn't know how to ask. The admission surprises her. Vulnerability wrapped in honesty. An explanation instead of justification. Next time, ask. There won't be a next time. 43 hours. 43 hours. But his voice was stricken now. Like the countdown has become punishment instead of promise. Amara felt something shift in her chest. Anger giving way to understanding. This man protects people by controlling circumstances. It's the only way he knows how to care. If you want to help, ask first. Understood. He nods once. Sharp movement that acknowledges the boundary she's drawn. Respect for her autonomy, despite his instinct to manage and control. Minho starts the car again. They drive back to the penthouse in thoughtful silence, each processing lessons learned about pride, help, and the complicated space between them. Outside, Seoul rushes past in blurs of glass and concrete. Normal life continuing while theirs remains suspended in temporary safety. 43 hours left to figure out what happens next. Evening brings revelation. Amara searches the kitchen for a specific tea blend Aunt Regina mentioned wanting. Opens drawers systematically, looking for the tin with the flowers on the label. The wrong drawer slides open to reveal hidden contents. A framed ultrasound photo, a silver wedding ring. Both items wrapped carefully in soft cloth. Her breath caught. Personal treasures hidden from casual view. Put those down. Jaemin's voice was low, dangerous, but wounded rather than threatening. She turns to find him in the doorway, face pale with something close to panic. I was looking for tea. Wrong drawer. He steps forward but doesn't reach for the items. Like touching them might break something fragile inside him. I'm sorry, she said. Don't be sorry. Just put them back. Amara lifts the ultrasound photo. The image shows a tiny form suspended in grey static. Week markers indicate second trimester. A life that never had the chance to begin. Your child would have been. His voice breaks slightly on the words. Past tense carrying the weight of dreams destroyed. What happened? Silence stretches between them. She thinks he won't answer. Privacy maintained through stubborn silence. Then his control cracks completely. Car accident, meant for me. The words come haltingly, forced through reluctance and old pain. We were driving home from dinner. Anniversary celebration. They ran us off the road. Amara felt her heart clench. Understanding floods through her chest like cold water. She died. Instantly. The baby. He swallows hard. 3 days later. The timeline creates vivid pictures. Hospital vigils, impossible choices, hope dying by degrees. I'm so sorry. I chose control over collapse. Haven't looked back since. His voice was matter-of-fact now. Emotions buried beneath practical necessity. Grief disciplined into functional numbness. Until now? Until you knocked on my door with something that belonged to me. Something shifted in his expression. Recognition of pattern. History repeating in small acts of conscience. The money was for them? Memorial Clinic wing, their names on a plaque. The ultrasound photo trembles in her hands. She understands now why he lost the suitcase. Testing himself against temptation. Mercy versus vengeance. But you were going to use it for something else. I was considering it. Revenge. Justice. The distinction matters to him. Moral difference between personal satisfaction and righteous action. What changed your mind? You returned it without asking what it was for. Amara sets the photo back in the drawer gently. The ring follows, wrapped in its soft cloth. Treasures return to their hiding place. I understand now. What do you understand? Why you protect people. Something shifted in his expression one more time. Surprise at being seen clearly. Gratitude for understanding offered without judgment. She doesn't say anything else. Doesn't offer comfort or advice. Just closes the drawer and goes to make tea for her aunt. But something has changed between them. Trust built through shared vulnerability. Recognition of compatible wounds. 42 hours left. But the countdown feels less important now than what they're building in the time remaining. Night market air carries the scent of grilled meat and sweet pastries. Hana suggested the outing. Fresh air and normal activities to break the penthouse tension. Amara helps Aunt Regina from the car while Jaimeen pays the driver. Different car, different route. Security maintained even during leisure. The market bustles with evening crowds. Families, couples, tourists sampling street food and browsing vendors. Normal life in all its chaotic beauty. This was a good idea, Aunt Regina said. Her speech continues to improve. Words come clearer, sentences longer. Progress measured in public confidence. They stop at a vendor selling teok skewers. Sweet rice cakes grilled with savory sauce. Aunt Regina's eyes light up with recognition. I remember these, she said. The vendor beams and prepares fresh skewers. Chats in Korean with Jaimeen about preparation methods and family recipes. Normal conversation between strangers united by food. Sir, please sit, the vendor said in English. Jaimeen remains standing. Professional habit or personal preference. Alert to surroundings, even in safe environments. Sit down, Amara said firmly. I'm fine standing. You're making everyone else uncomfortable. Sit. Something shifted in his expression, surprise at being ordered around, but he sits on the provided plastic stool without further argument. The vendor applauds and serves them fresh teok with extra sauce. Jaimeen eats sitting down, looking almost relaxed, almost normal. Amara felt something warm bloom in her chest. Laughter comes uninvited. The sight of this dangerous man following orders about street food seems absurd, human in a way that contradicts his carefully controlled image. Something amusing, he asked. You take direction well, only from people who matter. The casual admission stops her laughter, implies she matters to him in ways that go beyond obligation or debt. Minho appears at Jaimeen's shoulder. No alarm but urgency underlies his calm expression. We need to go, Minho said quietly. What's wrong? Ryu has been asking about the woman from the elevator. The market's cheerful noise continues around them, but suddenly everything feels threatening. Eyes in the crowd, shadows between vendor stalls, escape routes cut off by innocent bystanders. Amara felt fear replace warmth in her chest. Who is Ryu? She asked. Someone who thinks I owe him more than money. Jaimeen's voice was calm, but his hands shake slightly, the first visible crack in his perfect control. We leave now, he said. They abandon half-eaten food and walk quickly toward the car. Aunt Regina moves as fast as her recovery allows, supported between Amara and Hana. Is he dangerous? Amara asked. Very. To us? To everyone. The threat has a name now, a face somewhere in the crowd, someone who knows about her and wants to use that knowledge against Jaimeen. Her breath caught as understanding settles. She's not just under protection anymore. She's become a weapon. The penthouse feels smaller after the market's open spaces. Security locks engage automatically. Windows dim to prevent outside surveillance. Sanctuary becomes fortress in the span of minutes. A courier arrives before they finish removing their coats. Velvet box wrapped in innocent ribbon. Delivery confirmation signed by building security. Jaimeen opens it carefully. Inside, a white lily crushed flat, petals brown with deliberate damage. A note underneath in precise handwriting. Debt collects. The lights flicker once, twice, then stabilize. Minho's voice was urgent, but controlled. Building lockdown initiated. How did they get inside? They didn't. Delivered through legitimate channels. The violation feels worse somehow. Their security penetrated through normal means. Danger disguised as ordinary business. What does it mean? Amara asked. Ryu thinks I owe him something I can't pay. Money? Territory. Respect. Blood. Jaimeen studies the crushed lily with clinical detachment, but his jaw tightens with suppressed emotion. He killed my wife. The admission falls heavy in the secured room. Confirmation of what she'd suspected. Personal revenge disguised as business dispute. Now he wants to finish what he started. By hurting us. By proving I can't protect what I care about. The word care hangs between them. admission of attachment despite professional distance, personal stakes raising the cost of this conflict. Amara felt her breath catch. You care about us? More than I should. Honesty wrapped in regret. Caring becomes liability in his dangerous world. Controlled relocation to the secure wing, Minho said. Is that necessary? The note implies knowledge of our exact location. Jae-min nods once. Decision made through logic rather than emotion. Safety prioritized over comfort. They gather essential items and move deeper into the penthouse. Reinforced walls, redundant security systems, communication equipment that doesn't rely on building infrastructure. How long? Amara asked. Until we know Ryu's intentions. And then? Then we end this permanently. Something shifted in his expression. Cold determination replacing diplomatic caution. The businessman disappearing behind someone much more dangerous. Doors seal behind them with decisive clicks. The secure wing feels like a bunker. Safe but isolated. Protected but trapped. 41 hours, she said quietly. Time doesn't matter anymore. He's right, and she knows it. The countdown to freedom has become irrelevant. Safety is the only schedule that matters now. But somehow, sitting in this reinforced sanctuary with Aunt Regina sleeping peacefully nearby and Jae-min standing guard at the monitors, Amara doesn't feel trapped. She feels protected by someone who matters more than she wants to admit. The thought scares her more than any threat from outside. Morning light filters through reinforced windows. Amara wakes on the secure wing sofa to find Jae-min at the monitoring station. He hasn't slept. A bruise darkens his left knuckles. She didn't notice it yesterday. Evidence of violence handled quietly while she slept safely nearby. You're hurt, she said. Minor disagreement with a door frame. His voice was light, dismissive, but the injury suggests more serious business conducted in shadows. Show me. It's nothing. Show me anyway. Something shifted in his expression, surprise at her insistence, but he extends his hand for inspection. The bruise spreads across 3 knuckles. Skin split slightly over bone. Professional damage from deliberate impact. This wasn't a doorframe. No. His honesty surprises her. No elaborate lie or deflection. Simple acknowledgement of necessary violence. Amara felt something dangerous bloom in her chest. Not fear of his capacity for violence, but attraction to his willingness to use it protecting others. Does it hurt? Everything hurts eventually. The philosophical answer reveals more than medical details. Pain as life's constant companion. Acceptance of suffering as natural state. She hates the softness growing inside her. Hates how his quiet endurance makes her want to heal more than his wounds. I'll get ice. Don't need ice. I'll get it anyway. He doesn't argue. Watches her move through the small kitchen with careful attention, like her caring matters more than his comfort. The ice pack settles against his knuckles. He exhales slowly, tension leaving his shoulders for the first time in hours. Better, better, but his eyes stay fixed on her face, dark brown, holding questions he doesn't voice. What? She asked. You're not afraid of me? Should I be? Most people are. I'm not most people. No, you're not. The conversation feels weighted with unspoken meaning. Recognition of trust built through shared danger, understanding that fear and safety can coexist. Breakfast? She asked. Too early. It's past 8. Prison time moves differently. The casual reference to their situation stops her. They are imprisoned here, protected but isolated, free to move within defined boundaries. Are you sorry? About helping us? No. Even though it's complicated everything? Especially because of that. Something shifted in his expression again, almost like gratitude, as if complication is preferable to the emptiness that came before. Amara felt her breath catch. Understanding floods through her chest. He was alone before this, completely, utterly alone. The porridge was too salty yesterday, she said quietly. It was perfect. The correction carries weight beyond cooking criticism. Perfect because she made it. Perfect because it filled silence with domestic warmth. Today I'll add less salt. Today will be perfect too. His certainty makes her chest tighten with unnamed emotion. Faith in shared moments despite external chaos. She realizes she means the quiet between them, the careful distance that somehow feels closer than touching. Afternoon brings domestic apprenticeship. Hana teaches Amara the household rhythm, while Aunt Regina naps peacefully in the hospital bed. Progress continues even in lockdown. He's different with you here, Hana said. Different how? Less controlled, more human. Hana's voice was thoughtful, almost pleased. Like humanity is improvement over mechanical perfection. Is that good or bad? Good. Control can become prison. The observation feels pointed, warning or encouragement wrapped in casual conversation. They prepare lunch together. Simple broth for Aunt Regina, more substantial food for everyone else. Domestic tasks creating normalcy within abnormal circumstances. How long have you known him? Amara asked. 3 years, since my brother needed protection. From what? People who collect debts through violence. Another piece of the puzzle. Hana's loyalty built through personal obligation. Family protected through service. Your brother is safe now. Studying engineering in America, full scholarship. Jamin's influence reaching across oceans to secure futures. Protection, extending beyond immediate crises to long-term safety. He paid for the education. Invested in potential. The distinction matters to Hana. Investment versus charity. Mutual benefit versus one-sided obligation. Jamin appears in the kitchen doorway. Jacket removed, sleeves rolled up. The gesture is automatic now. Armor shed for domestic moments. Smells good, he said. Basic ingredients. The best meals usually are. He serves himself soup and sits at the small table. The act of sitting still surprises her. Trust in safety enough to lower constant vigilance. Any word from outside? Amara asked. Quiet. Good quiet or bad quiet? Too soon to tell. His honesty about uncertainty feels like trust. No false reassurance or empty promises. Just shared acknowledgement of unknown variables. What happens if nothing happens? We wait for information. His voice was firm, cutting off speculation. Fear feeds on imagination. Better to focus on facts and preparation. But Amara notices his hands aren't completely steady. The first crack in perfect composure she's seen today. Are you worried? Always. About what specifically? About failing to protect what matters. His eyes found hers across the small table. Dark brown, holding truths too dangerous to voice directly. We matter to you. Yes. Simple admission without qualification or excuse. Caring acknowledged despite professional distance. Something shifted in his expression one more time. Vulnerability replacing diplomatic caution. The businessman disappearing behind someone much more human. Amara felt warmth spread through her chest. Dangerous territory approached through incremental trust. We'll be fine, she said, because I'll make sure of it. His certainty carries the weight of absolute commitment. Promise made through quiet determination rather than loud declaration. But his hand trembles slightly as he lifts the soup spoon. Fear disguised as controlled efficiency. She reaches across the table and covers his hand with hers. Brief contact, no words. Comfort offered without discussion or permission. He goes completely still. Like touch is foreign concept, requiring careful analysis. Then his fingers turn palm up beneath hers. Accepting contact, accepting comfort. They sit connected across the small table while Hana pretends not to notice, and Aunt Regina sleeps peacefully nearby. For the first time since entering his world, Amara feels completely safe. Evening brings false calm. Aunt Regina sits with her word cards while Amara practices phrases in Korean. Hana coaches pronunciation with patient correction. Your accent improves, Hana said. Slowly. Language requires time like trust. Another pointed observation. Lessons delivered through casual conversation. Jamin appears with a blanket, drapes it over Aunt Regina's shoulders without being asked. Small kindness offered without announcement or expectation. Thank you, Aunt Regina said clearly. You're welcome, Mrs. Brooks. His voice was gentle with her, respectful of age and experience, different from his usual controlled politeness. You're a good man, she said. Something shifted in his expression. Surprise at direct assessment. Gratitude for judgment delivered without conditions. I try to be. Trying is enough. The rest comes with practice. Aunt Regina's wisdom settles in the quiet room. Moral development as ongoing process rather than fixed state. Amara watches this exchange with growing understanding. Her aunt sees something in Jamin that others miss. Potential for goodness beneath necessary hardness. What practice? He asked. Kindness. Patience. Letting people help you. The last item lands with particular weight. Independence as potential weakness rather than strength. I'm not good at accepting help. Neither is Amara. Family trait. His eyes found Amara's across the room. Dark brown, amused despite their circumstances. I noticed that. She's stubborn but teachable. Also noticed. The conversation about her rather than with her should be annoying. Instead, it feels like acceptance. Recognition of flaws alongside appreciation of strengths. I'm sitting right here, Amara said. We know, Aunt Regina replied. That's why we're being honest. Laughter comes uninvited. The absurdity of relationship analysis during security lockdown strikes her as perfectly normal now. Jamin smiles. Real expression, not diplomatic courtesy. The change transforms his entire face, makes him look younger, more approachable, more human. Amara felt her breath catch at the sight. Her phone buzzes. Unknown number, she answers cautiously. Miss Brooks, this is Seoul National Rehabilitation Center. Yes. Your aunt's appointment tomorrow has been rescheduled. Family emergency. Confusion stops her cold. What family emergency? Your nephew called. Said Mrs. Brooks needed to be picked up immediately. Amara felt ice flood her veins. I don't have a nephew. He's here now, waiting in the lobby. The line goes dead. Jamin appears at her shoulder, reading her expression with sharp attention. What's wrong? Someone at the clinic claims to be my nephew. They think Aunt Regina is there. His face goes deadly pale. Professional control fracturing completely. Minho, he called sharply. His right-hand man appears immediately. Problem? Check clinic security cameras, now. The next few minutes pass in controlled chaos. Monitors activated, phone calls made, information gathered with military efficiency. Camera shows Ryu's lieutenant, Minho reported. Doing what? Leaving with an elderly Korean woman. Amara's breath caught. That's not my aunt. No, but he thinks it is. The mistake should be relief. Aunt Regina remains safe in the secure wing, but someone else's grandmother has been taken by people who hurt families to make points. We have to help her. We will. Jamin's voice was grim with determination, but something else moves beneath his controlled surface. Recognition of pattern, history repeating in cruel variation. This is how he works. Takes something precious and waits for you to come. Will you? Yes. Even though it's a trap. Because it's a trap. Something shifted in his expression one final time. Cold fury replacing diplomatic caution. The businessman disappearing behind someone much more dangerous. But first, we make sure your aunt stays safe. He issues rapid instructions to Hana and Minho. Security protocols, communication schedules, emergency procedures. Everything organized with brutal efficiency. Where are you going? Amara asked. To end this. Alone? With backup. I'm coming with you. No. She was taken because of me. She was taken because of me. The distinction matters to him. Responsibility accepted completely. But Amara won't be left behind while others face danger in her place. If you leave me here, I'll follow anyway. You'll stay and protect your aunt. Hana can protect my aunt. I'm going with you. Something shifted in his expression. Recognition of stubborn determination. Understanding that arguing wastes time they don't have. Stay behind me. Do exactly what I say. Agreed. This isn't negotiation. This is survival. His voice was harder than she's ever heard. All diplomacy stripped away. Only necessity and brutal honesty remaining. I understand. No, you don't. But you will. The river pier stretches into darkness. Seoul lights reflect on black water in broken patterns. Wind carries the sound of traffic from distant streets. Amara's hands shake as she follows Jamin across wet concrete. The elderly woman sits tied to a chair at the pier's end, motionless but breathing. Stay here, he said quietly. You said behind you. This is behind me. 50 feet behind me. Minho and two other men spread out in the shadows. Professional positioning for optimal coverage. Weapons ready, but concealed. A figure emerges from behind shipping containers. Medium height, expensive clothes, confidence that comes from controlling situations. Kang Jae-min, the man called. Ryu Seung-ho. Their voices carry across water and wind, formal politeness disguising deadly intent. You brought the girl. You asked for an exchange? I asked for the girl. Old woman for young woman. Amara felt cold understanding settle in her chest. This was always about her. The elderly victim was just bait. Let Mrs. Kim go first. After you send the girl. Simultaneous exchange. You're not in position to negotiate. Ryu's voice was amused, conversational, like discussing dinner plans rather than human lives. I have something you want, Jamin said. What's that? Information about the prosecutor's witness list. The pier goes silent except for water lapping against concrete. Power dynamics shifting through revealed intelligence. Bullshit. Test me. Something passes between them. Understanding of stakes raised beyond personal revenge, business implications extending far beyond this confrontation. "Walk to me, Amara," Ryu called. "Slowly," Jaemin added quietly. She steps onto the pier proper, concrete solid beneath her feet, despite her shaking legs. Each step brings her closer to immediate danger. "That's far enough," Jaemin said when she's 10 feet behind him. "Closer," Ryu demanded. "Deal first. Information for both women. Information first. Then we discuss terms." Amara felt fear crawl up her spine. Ryu has no intention of honoring any agreement. This is about humiliation and power, proving Jaemin can't protect what he values. "The prosecutor has 3 witnesses," Jaemin said. "Names. After you release Mrs. Kim." Ryu laughs. The sound echoes off water and metal. "You think I'm stupid? I think you're desperate." The accusation hits harder than expected. Ryu's amusement disappears behind something uglier, desperate enough to prove a point. He signals to someone hidden in the shadows. Movement flickers at the edge of vision. "You couldn't protect your wife," Ryu continued. "Can't protect this one either." The words hit Jaemin like physical impact. His shoulders tense with suppressed rage. "Some debts are paid in blood, Jaemin. Your blood or theirs." Time slows to crystalline clarity. Amara sees Jaemin's hand move toward his jacket, sees Ryu's men emerge from concealment, sees Minho's team respond with professional precision. "Down!" Jaemin shouted. She drops to her knees on wet concrete, shields her head with both arms. The world explodes in sound and fury. Gunshots crack like thunder. Voices shout commands in Korean. Feet pound against concrete and metal. Light disappears suddenly. Emergency illumination dies. Darkness swallows the pier completely. More shouting, bodies colliding, the wet sound of impact against flesh. Then silence. Emergency lights flicker back on. Amara raises her head carefully. Ryu lies face down on concrete, arms zip-tied behind his back. Blood trickles from his nose, but he's breathing. Jaemin stands over him, jacket torn, knuckles bleeding worse than before, but alive, intact. "Clear," Minho called from the shadows. The elderly woman is freed quickly, conscious and frightened but unharmed. Minho's team escorts her toward waiting medical personnel. Amara's breath caught as reality settles. It's over. Jaemin approaches her slowly, hands visible, movements careful, giving her space to process what she's witnessed. "Are you hurt?" "No." "Scared?" "Terrified." His expression softens slightly. Recognition of honest fear, honestly admitted. "It's finished." "Really finished?" "Really finished." Something shifted in his expression one more time. Relief replacing grim determination. The businessman returning as immediate danger passes. "Let's go home." The word home stops her cold. He means the penthouse, but somehow it feels like more than location. It feels like belonging. They walk back across the pier together. Her legs shake with delayed reaction. His presence steadies her more than physical support. Behind them, Seoul glitters in broken patterns on dark water. The city continues its rhythm while their world changes forever. Back at the penthouse, aftermath settles slowly. Hana tends Jaemin's renewed knuckle damage. Minho files reports for internal records. Aunt Regina sleeps peacefully, unaware of the night's violence. "Medical kit," Hana said to Amara. "I can handle it." "You can, but should you?" Another pointed question wrapped in casual observation. Opportunities for intimacy disguised as practical necessity. Amara takes the medical supplies, sits across from Jaemin at the kitchen table. His hands rest palm down on white marble. Blood darkens the split skin. "This will sting," she said. "Everything stings eventually." The same philosophical acceptance as before, but spoken more gently now. Shared understanding rather than individual endurance. She cleans the wounds with antiseptic. He doesn't flinch or pull away. Complete trust despite obvious pain. "Thank you," she said quietly. "For what?" "For protecting her. The old woman. I didn't do it for her. I know. I did it because you would have blamed yourself if she was hurt." The admission settles between them. Protection extended through understanding of her conscience. Care expressed through preventing guilt. And because it was right. That too. She wraps his knuckles in clean bandages. Professional work, despite her shaking hands. Each touch sends electricity through her fingers. "There, thank you." But he doesn't pull his hands away, lets them rest under hers on the cool marble. Connection maintained through shared stillness. "What happens now?" she asked. "Now we figure out what normal looks like. Do you want normal?" "I want whatever you want." The admission stops her breathing. Complete surrender of control to her preferences. Power offered without conditions or expectations. I want, she starts, then stops. What? I want to not be afraid of wanting things. Something shifted in his expression, understanding of fear built through disappointment, recognition of courage required for hoping. What kind of things? Things I can't afford, things that don't make sense. Such as, you. The word hangs between them. Honest desire finally voiced despite practical impossibilities. His hands turn palm up beneath hers, fingers interweave with careful deliberation, touch becoming choice rather than accident. You can afford me, he said quietly. How? Because I'm already yours. Her breath caught at the simple declaration, love offered without ceremony or condition, heart given through quiet certainty. Since when? Since you knocked on my door with something that belonged to me. The money belonged to you. No, you belonged to me, I just didn't know it yet. The distinction rewrites their entire history. Every interaction recontextualized through inevitable attraction, destiny disguised as coincidence. Amara felt tears threaten behind her eyes. I'm not running, she said finally. Good. I'm not hiding from this anymore. Good. I'm staying. Better. His thumb traces across her knuckles, gentle pressure that somehow feels more intimate than kissing. What about the 48 hours? Time doesn't matter anymore. He's right. The countdown to freedom has become irrelevant. This is freedom. Choice made through understanding rather than obligation. I love you, she said. I love you too. Simple words carrying the weight of changed lives. Promises made through shared vulnerability. He leans across the small table. His breath catches as her eyes found his. Dark brown, holding nothing back now. May I kiss you? Yes. Their lips meet over bandaged hands and medical supplies, gentle pressure that speaks of reverence rather than passion. First kiss given through careful restraint. When they part, something fundamental has shifted. Two separate people becoming one shared future. Better than I imagined, he said. You imagined this? Every day since you walked away from my elevator. Honesty wrapped in confession. Attraction acknowledged despite professional necessity. They sit connected across the small table, while soul sleeps beyond reinforced windows. Two hearts learning to beat in rhythm. For the first time in years, Amara feels completely home. Before dawn, they sit with tea in the quiet kitchen. Aunt Regina sleeps peacefully nearby, normal domestic rhythm restored after the night's chaos. I need to tell you something, Jamin said. What? About the money. About why I really lost it. His voice was careful, weighted with old shame. Confession prepared through sleepless hours. Tell me. It was earmarked for a clinic wing. Memorial for my wife and son. Amara already knows this, but she listens anyway, understanding the need to voice truth completely. 100,000 for construction. Their names on a plaque. That's beautiful. I was going to use it for something else. Revenge? Information. Leverage against Ryu's network. The admission costs him. Moral failure acknowledged without justification or excuse. But you didn't. I was testing myself, carrying the money to see if I would choose mercy or vengeance. Understanding floods through her chest. The lost suitcase was deliberate temptation, character examination through available options. What changed your mind? You returned it without asking what it was for. I didn't need to know. That's what changed my mind. Your conscience didn't require context. Something shifted in his expression, gratitude mixed with wonder, as if her simple honesty had saved his soul. The clinic will be built? Next month. Construction starts when permits clear. With both our names? If you want. The offer stops her breathing. Their names together on permanent memorial. Public declaration of partnership and shared future. I want that. Then that's what happens. He reaches across the table and takes her hands again, bandaged knuckles against smooth skin, healing touch replacing violent necessity. No more secrets, she said. No more secrets. No silent sacrifices. No silent sacrifices. Partnership means partnership. Understood. His agreement carries the weight of absolute commitment. Promises made through changed perspective. What needs doing, he asked. The question that has become their ritual. Daily inquiry into shared responsibility. Breakfast for 3, she said. The number 3 means family. Aunt Regina included permanently. No temporary arrangements or conditional acceptance. For 3, he agrees. They rise together and begin preparing morning meal. Simple tasks made meaningful through shared purpose. Love expressed through ordinary cooperation. Outside, Seoul wakes to another day. Inside, their new life begins with tea and quiet conversation. The future measured in moments like this. 6 months later, late morning sun streams across the terrace garden. Aunt Regina tends herb plants with steady hands. Her speech flows clearly now, recovery complete enough for independence. Basil needs more water, she said. I'll get it. Amara moves through the adjacent kitchen where lunch preparation continues. Small catering business, growing through word-of-mouth recommendations. Simple food prepared with care and attention. Hannah labels containers with pickup times and dietary restrictions. Organization that makes the impossible seem routine. Mrs. Jung wants extra kimchi next week, Hannah said. Double the order. Already done. Their partnership runs smoothly now. Business built on mutual respect and shared competence. Success measured in satisfied customers and steady growth. A plaque hangs in Seoul National Rehabilitation Center's new wing. Elegant brass with names engraved clearly. In memory of Lee So-young and Lee Min-jun, in honor of new beginnings. Donated by Kang Jae-min and Brooke Samara. The dedication had been small, private, just family and medical staff. But the impact spreads daily through lives touched by improved facilities. Footsteps approach on the terrace. Jaemin returns from morning errands with grocery bags and no visible security detail. Normal life maintained through careful planning and former enemies neutralized permanently. What needs doing? He asked. Their daily question, asked with genuine interest rather than obligation. Help me with the lunch containers, Amara said. Always. He washes his hands and begins portioning food into delivery containers. Movements efficient but unhurried. Work shared rather than divided. Good morning? She asked. Better now. Simple exchange that has become ritual. Day improved through reunion regardless of separation's brevity. They work together in comfortable silence, hands occasionally brushing as they reach for supplies. Small touches that still spark electricity, despite months of familiarity. Delivery at 2, Hannah said. I'll handle it. Together, Jaemin corrected gently. Partnership maintained even in routine tasks. Shared responsibility extending to every aspect of their life. Aunt Regina appears in the kitchen doorway, steady on her feet, clear-eyed with health restored. Lunch smells wonderful. Your recipe for the soup base. Improved by your technique. Praise given and received naturally. Family dynamic built through respect rather than obligation. Table for 3? Jaemin asked. Table for 3. They set places on the terrace where plants provide privacy and Seoul spreads below in afternoon haze. Simple meal elevated by shared appreciation. Conversation flows over food and future plans. Business expansion possibilities. Weekend trip to the coast. Normal concerns of normal people building normal life together. The prosecutor called, Jaemin said casually. Problems? Gratitude. Ryu's conviction was upheld. Justice achieved through legal rather than violent means. Past finally settled through proper channels. That's finished then. Everything from before is finished. His hand finds hers across the small table. Connection maintained through shared touch and understanding. What comes next? Whatever we choose. The future spreads before them in infinite possibility. Choice available through safety earned and trust built. Amara felt contentment settle in her chest. Deep satisfaction with life constructed through conscious decision rather than circumstance. I choose this, she said. This. You. Me. Aunt Regina. Simple food and quiet mornings. Good choices. The best choices. They finish lunch in peaceful silence. Aunt Regina returns to her herb garden. Hannah prepares afternoon deliveries. Normal rhythm of productive life. Jaemin helps clear dishes without being asked. Partnership expressed through automatic cooperation. Love demonstrated daily through small acts of service. Happy? He asked. Completely. Even with simple life instead of exciting one. Especially because of that, he smiles. Real expression of genuine pleasure. Contentment earned through conscious choice rather than achieved through default. I have something for you, he said. What kind of something? The permanent kind. From his pocket comes a small velvet box. Not flashy or oversized. Elegant simplicity that matches their shared aesthetic. Jaemin, partnership made official if you want. The ring inside is perfect. Clean lines, quality materials, nothing ostentatious. Beautiful because of restraint rather than excess. Do you want? She asked. More than breathing. Then yes. He slips the ring onto her finger with careful reverence. Perfect fit because he pays attention to details that matter. Mrs. Kang, he said experimentally. I like the sound of that. Good, because I plan to use it frequently. Laughter comes easily now. Joy expressed without reservation or fear of loss. They stand together on the terrace overlooking their city and their life. Two people who found each other through crisis and chose to stay through peace. What needs doing now, he asked. Nothing, everything is exactly right. Aunt Regina calls from the herb garden. Amara, the basil is ready for harvest. Coming, Aunt Regina. She turns toward the kitchen, but Jae-min catches her hand. Together, he asked. Always together. They walk toward the garden where Aunt Regina waits with fresh herbs and continued recovery. Simple afternoon tasks that connect them to earth and growth and future. Behind them, lunch dishes wait in the kitchen. Ordinary responsibilities of ordinary people living extraordinary love. The sun climbs higher over Seoul, another day unfolding in rhythm they've created together. She looked at him. He smiled. They were finally home.